Hello, fourth grade. Can you believe it's week 7 of virtual learning with Ms. Toller? This week, we will be writing a constructed response based on facts. A recap of last week, we read chapter 9 of Scraps of Time. We discussed how to write a constructive response to our question about the book. We reviewed the meaning of theme and key details, and everyone should have written their first short essay based on the theme and key details of the story. This week's objective reads, I can use the facts from the story to write a constructive response on how the plot helps to develop the theme of the story. Using my knowledge of the plot and theme, I can include key details to further explain how the events in the story develops the theme of the book. This week, we will be continuing our book, Scraps of Time. We are on chapter 10. Chapter 10 is called The Lie. Read along with me, please. Gus agreed to wait until Wednesday for Everett's answer. Meanwhile, he took up the Reverend's offer to stay at the parsonage attic. On Monday, it started snowing again, and for the next 2 days, it didn't stop. St. Louis was under 4 feet of snow. By Wednesday, the temperatures had fallen dangerously low. Still, a large crowd gathered for the meeting at St. Paul. When Everett arrived, he joined Gus, who was sitting next to Hattie. Reverend Johnson called for Gus to give the opening prayer. Back home, Gus was often a leader, but this was a big city church and the room was full. Everett closed his eyes, hoping that his brother wouldn't sound like a country bumpkin. Gus's prayer was sincere and moving. Dear Father in heaven, we ask that your Holy Spirit stop by this place. Spread the warmth of your love and mercy over those of us who have gathered here in your name. His voice sounded so different. Not like he sounded when he was calling hogs or shooing chickens. There were plenty of amens shouted from the deacon's corner. Hattie seemed impressed. Her face lit up when Gus came back to sit between them. Then Pop Singleton spoke. Whatever skills you have can be put to use in Nicodemus. So don't be shy. Come forward now. Gus turned to Everett. I know what your answer is. I can tell by the look on your face. Gus, I can't go back to Pearl. I can't. I got it all planned. First Kansas, and when I'm old enough, I'll join the army and be with Cole. Then Everett hurried over to get in line. What can you do, young fella? Pop asked Everett. I can read and write, Everett said proudly. Yes, sir. I went to the 8th grade. My pa told me that with schooling, I can do anything. Your pa was right, son. But we have a teacher already. Can you lay bricks, do carpentry, shoe horses? If not, you could come on the next trip. No, please, I want to go on this trip, Everett said. Then words began popping out of his mouth. I break horses. Billy Breeze and I are partners, good friends. We've been working together a while. He's a horse whisperer, you know. Now that's more like it. I know who Billy Breeze is. Everyone around here does, Singleton said. You are lucky to have him as a friend and teacher. Pop Singleton thought for a moment. I think we could find use for a good horseman, especially one trained by Billy Breeze. Sign right here. Everett did, but he felt no excitement. Instead, he felt sick to his stomach. Then Hattie came rushing up. She pulled him over to where Gus and Reverend Johnson were talking to several exodusters. Everett signed up. Hattie announced cheerfully. I wish you well, little brother, Gus said. His eyes looked tired and sad. Pa will be proud. Everett wanted to fall in the hole. I'll be heading home then, Gus went on. but I'll come to say goodbye. Oh, you won't be leaving us so soon. No boats can go anywhere. Not with the river frozen like it is, said Reverend Johnson. Until the river thaws, you're welcome to stay on. You can help out with the exodusters. I sure could use a hand. Good idea. A great idea, said Hattie, smiling broadly. It surprised Everett when Gus quickly agreed. Why are you so quiet? Hattie asked Everett. Everett tried to say something, but he couldn't. Outside, Everett gulped on the icy air and ran back to the stable. Alone there, he alone oh, I'm sorry guys. Um Alone there, he buried his face in his hands. He had told a lie, a wicked lie. The metal felt heavy in his pocket. The captain of the Camelbacks was right. He didn't deserve it, and Gus was wrong. Pa would not be proud of him at all. Okay, guys, that finishes out chapter 10 of Scraps of Time. Let's move on. So, some words to know for this week are, of course, the plot, which is the key events or actions that help develop the conflict of a story. The conflict, which is the problem faced by one or more characters. The resolution, which is the way the conflict is resolved. And I included here that sometimes there is no resolution given in our story. And of course, a fact, which is a statement known or proven to be true. Our question of the week is, what important conflicts have you identified in our book, Scraps of Time? So, now that we have our question, let's brainstorm. Before you begin your writing, let's think about these three things. The conflicts that has happened in Scraps of Time so far, the characters who caused these conflicts, and of course, how did the conflicts in the story help to develop the plot? So let's write. Here, I'm going to give you guys an example of how you should begin your writing this week. So to start off, you guys should say, in our book, Scraps of Time, there have been many conflicts that have happened. The conflicts in the story have helped to develop the plot of the story by making the story more. Here I want you to fill in the blank. So how have the conflicts in the story helped to further the plot? It made the story more what? Just for a hint, you could say it made it more interesting. You could say the conflicts in the story help to make the story more notable, and you include or insert on in the blank what you think. And then I want you guys to say the conflict between. So here you guys will be choosing the conflicts between the two characters. So between blank and blank. So in those spaces you will include the characters. Helped to develop the plot because. And then after this sentence here, you guys will include your closing statement for paragraph 1. So this is an example of how your writing should look. I gave you guys an example last week, and not many of you followed what that should look like. If need be, you guys can copy this example, but I want you to use your own words when doing your writing. All right? So moving right along, let's wrap up our learning for today. So today we read chapter 10 of Scraps of Time. We discussed words to know to help further our understanding of a text. And we reviewed our question of the week and discussed how to answer our question. And I also gave you guys an example of what your writing should look like for this week. Your essay requirements are the same as last week, so you guys should clearly state the theme and conflicts of the text. Your writing should be at least 2 paragraphs, and you should be using at least 2 key details from the story to support the theme of the text. And of course, you should be using correct grammar and spelling. I want you guys to have an awesome week. Please do not forget about office hours. Office hours are on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10:30 to 3:30 p.m. ELA office hours are from 10:30 to 12:30. Your responses can be written in the comments, just like last week when I put the question up for you guys and you responded. Or you can send them by email at gtoller@ga-schools.org. See you guys next week for week 8 of learning. We have 3 weeks left.